Okay, guys, if you are watching this video, I'll be dealing with fragments, with your sentence fragments, the topic. So if you have the blue book with you, please join me on page 244. If you don't have the book with you, look at the screen. Okay, so before I look into that particular chapter, here I prepared this one. I prepared also a video for you. Now, I learned a few tricks from my IT colleagues. I tried to see if I could share the sound out. So for those of you, okay, you tried it out first. If you can hear it, okay, congratulations. Finally, we made it. If you cannot, then still use the same technique. Watch it yourself. That's a YouTube video. Any friends here who cannot access YouTube, okay, I'll just play it here. If you can hear the sound, congratulations. If not, I'm sorry. Please follow the subtitles. Okay, just a few minutes video, this one. But
Hello, grammarians. David here, along with my cousin
uh,
Beth, who also happens to be a teacher. Say hello to
yeah,
the people, Beth.
Hi, people.
So today we are going to talk about sentence fragments, and Beth, you cover these in classes that you teach. Could you tell me, please, what is a sentence fragment?
Great. A sentence fragment is when a student writes a sentence and they think it's a sentence, but it's one that tells maybe what happens, but doesn't include who, or it might include who, but doesn't tell what happens.
So sentence fragments don't tell the whole story.
hmm
The way I would put it is that a fragment is a piece of a sentence that cannot stand on its own, but nevertheless incorrectly ends with a period. So the whole story, for instance, would be a fragment. This is a fragment. It could be a sentence, but it's missing something. Beth, what is it missing? What is the whole story missing?
Well, we've got a subject, but we don't have what we would call a predicate. In other words, so we're giving a subject, but we're not telling what happens to that subject.
All right, so the whole story began 10 years ago. And now we've got our subject here, the whole story, and now we've given it a predicate. Similarly, if we just had this predicate and we just said it began 10 years ago, well, that's not enough to be a sentence either. That's also a fragment. Because now we've got a predicate, but no subject.
Right. We're telling about something, but we don't know what.
So in order to be a sentence, you need to have both a subject and a predicate. So you need to have a thing, like a noun or a pronoun, and then you have to have something happen to that noun or pronoun, or something performed by that noun or pronoun. Right? So like the pancakes, period, is not a sentence. But the pancakes were delicious is.
So you've got a part that names, that's your subject, and then you've got the part that finishes the thought, that's your predicate.
Let's look at another example. All right, what about because of the snowstorm? Is that a sentence, Beth?
Nope.
Why not?
Well, you don't tell what happened because of that snowstorm.
So this is what we'd call not even a, I mean, it's not even a dependent clause, right? This thing doesn't really have a subject or a verb. It's really just a prepositional phrase. Because of the snowstorm, something could happen, but we don't know what that is. So because of the snowstorm, we stayed home from school. So we've got this sentence here, this independent clause, right? We stayed home from school, and that's a subject and a predicate. And if it were just stayed home from school, period, that wouldn't be a sentence. And if it were just we, period, that also wouldn't be a sentence. And if it were just because of the snowstorm, period, that wouldn't be a sentence. It doesn't have enough support to stand on its own. But altogether, because of the snowstorm, comma, we stayed home from school, period, that is a sentence. So in order to make sure that you're building sentences, you have to make sure that what you've got is a subject and a predicate. You've got to have a subject and a verb, put them together, slap on a period, you've got a sentence.
You've got some good sentences there, David.
You can learn anything. David out.
And Beth out.
okay, not sure you can hear the sound. It's congratulations. If not, watch it yourself. Okay, so here comes with the video concerning recognizing fragments. Now I just go back to this page right here. So again, which page again? 244 from your blue textbook. Yes. I'm checking with okay. Right, from here you see a couple of things. First and foremost, okay, what goes wrong with fragments? And to be honest, as your teacher, we noticed there, this feature is pretty common. I mean, among many of you who are learning English here. Partly because like you have to make sure you understand what a dependent clause is and what is a complete sentence. Okay, to let you know what a complete sentence is, even in simple English, very easy. You see the S, you see the V, that's a complete sentence. And normally for a dependent clause, what is it for? These are extra information. Okay, extra add-on information. Okay, if these are add-on information, now some of you may wonder, then why don't we just keep complete sentences all the way through? You can, but let me demonstrate to you. I'm a man, full stop. You are a student, full stop. This is a computer, full stop. I have a microphone, full stop. And what else? Yeah, something like that. If the whole sentence, they only consist of complete sentences, then it will be a big trouble if you notice that. Because the language will become highly broken, very, very, very broken, very, very short. But then the problem will also be they have difficulty in bringing in extra information add on together. So therefore, you notice, if you look at it here, CCN is a TV station. No, the subject is here already, CNN, sorry, CNN. Okay, is the V is here, it's a TV station. Okay, maybe, okay, you have an O here too. But then most likely, just looking at the S and V, normally we could distinguish it clearly already. So we know this is a complete sentence. And this one, however, is a dependent clause. So what happened here, you can't let the dependent clause, okay, stands alone or cut away from the so-called the main clause or from the complete sentence. So something has to be done here, okay? Already this part, okay, we can make the sentence broken, and therefore, normally, what is sentence fragment? Broken. That's the meaning. So this part is broken here, if you notice, and therefore it will become a sentence fragment. Next one will be the same. Seeing the earthquake on CNN, he was very worried about his family. Clearly you can see the subject is here, the verb is here. Okay, and therefore the problem comes here. Because the sentence is broken. What is broken here? The dependent clause is broken away from the main clause. Okay, so what you have to do, very easy. Bring them all back together. Just like here, CNN is a TV station that provides with world news. Put a comma down there, let the sentence goes on, which is useful for foreigners. Now the broken part disappear because these two becomes continuing sentence. Okay, no more broken sentence, no more fragment. Next one the same. You see the comma is being used here. So which also means the two sentences, they are continuing. So when the sentence is continuing, they are not broken. If they are not broken, no more sentence fragment. Now, this is the trick about it here. Normally, it's a situation number one for many, many of you, I believe. So I put a star here first. For many, many of you, okay, those samples coming in from you or sometimes from your writing, on and on, major problem comes from here. So please pay a little bit more attention. Two more situations that will give you fragments. Okay, number one, you missed the subject. Number two, you missed the main verb. Okay, what goes on here? Just like this one, it's a good station to watch because it reports the important news. Now, what is a good station? The subject is clearly not here. Okay, so all you have to do, put the subject back. So when the subject is complete, very good. No more fragment because the subject complete already. Third situation will be the main verb is gone, is missing, just like here. This time the verb, where is the verb? So Eyewitness, one of the most popular morning TV shows. Now, some of you actually very common, this kind of sentence. Okay, from time to time I see a lot from my students. Hope is not from you. Okay, because then we notice the verb. Okay, we need a verb back here. So clearly you put the verb back. Again, no more fragment because the sentence complete already. Okay, now that being said, okay, situation number 1, situation 2, situation 3. But as your teacher, most of the time, I believe what I've seen from you, if it's a fragment, this one, number 1. Okay, so if you want to avoid this kind of mistakes in your very near future, or even in your life, please pay more attention to this one. Okay, as long as you know what is a dependent clause, what is a independent clause, or what we call a complete sentence, then you notice, okay, no way you could make such mistakes in sentence structure. Okay, that being said, let's work on some exercise. Those with the book, you know, like there are altogether 10 of them on the next page. But so if you have the book, just carry on. Okay, give yourself maybe 5 to 10 minutes and then finish it. Those of you who do not have the book, okay, then please follow the page here. You may pause the video for now. Okay, page by page. Okay, then pause the video for now. Give yourself maybe 5 minutes, I think. Okay, you finish it and then you play the video again. So please be good boy, good girl. Pause the video now, and then after 5 minutes, well, or after you finish it, play the video again, and then I'll check the answers with you. Okay, assume you finished the exercise. Now you're ready to look at the answers. Okay, let's take a look. Number 1, something very wrong here, I believe. Agree? Number 2, something very wrong here. Number 3, something here, right? Okay, number 4 here. Okay, number 5 here, I think. Okay. Right, one by one we can take a look. Number 1, we can divide the news into 2 kinds. Okay, this time to bring them in together. Now, so many choices actually you have. We can divide the news into 2 kinds. You can use a colon or you can use which are. Right, another way normally you always use. If you're not too confident with a colon, actually colon is a very useful punctuation. But if you're not very confident, then instead of putting a colon, like we can say we can divide the news into 2 kinds, which are hard news and soft news. Then you don't even need a colon. You just bring the whole sentences into one piece. Okay, so that's 2 suggestions for you. Another one. Okay, hard news consists of important events at the local, national, or international level. Okay, this one the same. So like the health reform bill. So the word like clearly you tell people you're giving them examples. And therefore we know this part, starting this part on, it will be a dependent clause. So once again, a dependent clause cannot be broken away from the main sentence. So therefore, all you have to do, put the comma back. Everything will be solved. Okay, next one. Usually hard news is reported by the most known reporters. Okay, who have big names such as Kate Correct. Okay, so this time they don't even like break the sentences into 2 parts. They delete those and then they let the who carries on together. Just like here. Okay, who have big names, okay, on and on, on and on. You may consider doing that, okay, that you could even combine 2 sentences into 1. And by doing so, you also help to correct the fragment here. Now, why I can tell you straight in the way, okay, this is something wrong, because not because here, the word when. Every sentence, as you know, begins when, where, which, okay, that, so and so, so and so. 100%, you don't have to question yourself. Be confident. 100%, 200%, even 300%, I'm sure. It must be a dependent clause. And also it must be an add-on information to the sentence. Okay, so when this is an add-on information, all you have to do, again, you cannot break it away from the main sentence, right? So all you have to do, same, let it go. I mean, let it go. Yeah, I mean, let it go on the sentences. Yeah, think of Frozen, sorry. So when reporters tell about hard news, comma, they are serious and try to be objective. Now, this is what you have to do. Okay, number 5, soft news. On the other hand, this one clearly the verb is not here, right? Where's the verb? Okay, so all you have to do, soft news on the other hand is not considered so important. So very good, you put the verb back here. Okay, 5 more to go. Again, if you are following the PowerPoint, the video here, then please give yourself 5 more minutes. So pause the video now for 5 minutes. After you finish it, please play the video again because I will check the answers with you. So pause it if you haven't finished. All right, assume you finished the exercise. You can carry on. Now I check the answers with you. Okay, number 1. An example of soft news. I think the problem is here. The major problem is here. The verb is missing. Where's the verb? But then the textbook answer also they changed. Actually, you don't have to change it. You could just soft news, for example, comma is the reaction, blah, 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 blah. Okay, you can just do that, no problem. But then I think the textbook take one more step. They change the phrase too. So they change the phrase into a typical noun phrase, which an example of soft news, on and on, on and on, on and on together. Okay, next one. Again, the problem here. Okay, the problem here is again the verb is missing. So where's the verb? Okay, so this time they put the verb back down. So no problem here. Now these are not dependent, independent clause. This one are both okay complete sentences by itself. No problem. You have 2 complete sentences. Okay, side by side with one another. So which also means each one they have some other things they have to consider. So both are complete sentences. Okay, so the problem this time is the verb is missing. Number 8, I think very easy, right? You spot something here, definitely. Yep, something wrong here. So reporting style, people, okay, soft news is friendlier. So this time they just directly delete the full stop and then bring the sentences on together. And by doing so, very good. Fragment will be corrected. Number 9, very easy, right? You notice something is missing here because the subject is not here. So all you have to do, it is interesting to note the differences between these 2 types of news. Okay, number 10, sometimes I prefer the soft news because it is more cheerful. Now pay attention to this one because from time to time I see many coming from in your writing. This one. You think the word, well, you can start the sentence with because. Okay, all you have to do, okay, maybe. Now, if you love beginning with the sentence because, now another situation, bring the sentence to the front. So because it's more cheerful, comma, sometimes I prefer the soft news. Now you can do that. This is one option. Okay, however, if we follow the textbook sentence order, it will be, sometimes I prefer the soft news because it's more cheerful. Now, this is another way you can do. So 2 options. Number 1, you can follow the textbook one. If you don't like it, you always want to begin the sentence with because, no problem. Make sure this part goes to the front. And then where's the main clause still here? That's the main sentence. Okay, so by doing so, you'll be able to hopefully clear out some fragment problems in your sentence structure. Okay, one more sentences to go. One more exercise to go. Okay, this time find and correct sentence fragments in the following paragraph. Find and correct them. I think this one, give yourself maybe 5 to 8 minutes. Okay, after 5 to 8 minutes, I will check the answers with you. So pause the video now for 5 to 8 minutes. You finish it, you play the video again. Okay, be good boy, good girl. Thank you. All right, assume you finished the exercise now. I can look into the answers with you. Okay, first one. Yeah, these books have depth and insight about human nature and have stood the test of time. Again, okay, this time they put a conjunction here and then bring the 2 sentences together. You can do that. Okay, another choice you can consider doing, put they here. If you want to maintain 2 sentences, no problem. Why I use the pronoun they? Because these books, plural, you see? So they have stood the test of time. Okay, on and on. Okay, next one. These books are studied in high school and college literature classes so that young Americans will have some knowledge of the highest quality American writing. So this time they delete the full stop, bring the whole sentence, bring the 2 sentences together. So this is what they do. Okay, third one would be here. Some examples of American classics. Okay, this time the verb is missing. Right, okay, because some examples, so I have to use a plural verb. The Scarlet Letter by Nathan Hawthorne, Huckleberry Finn by Mark Twain, Age of Innocence by Edith Wharton. These are famous American literature. If you like fictions and novels, okay. Hope some of you have heard of it. Okay, next one. In reading these books, yes, something wrong here, right? So, comma, we see in the characters the problems and difficulties we all face in life. One more. Okay, so to go. The second group of American novels consists of popular books which earlier explained to you any sentences begin with which, that, who, where, when must be a dependent clause. So if it's a dependent clause, it cannot stand alone. It has to be reconnected with the main sentence. Okay, so that's why. Okay, one more to go will be here. Examples of popular books. Okay, this time the verb is missing. The word are. The verb are is missing. So all you have to do, put it back. Done. Okay, so from the textbook, these are a couple activities and exercises concerning with your learning of sentence fragments. And okay, in the next video, okay, of course, I will deal with a different grammar topic. And for sentence fragments, I think I will stop here for now. Okay, as usual, any questions, anything, feel free to text me, email me. Yep, I'm often next to my phone. You know that very well. Okay, stay tuned. Bye.